So we had all the cuts past 2 days. We had practice squad, all 53-man roster all figured out. So all the people that were cut to begin with, the running backs go with DeJuan Harris, Dominique Williams, those two. I didn't expect either of them to make the team, even though I think if I did like Williams a little bit more than Harris. Renaud didn't make it, the fullback, Blake Renaud. I hope I'm saying these names right, just for validation there. Some of these I'm not too sure about. And then the linebackers, Brian Peters, out of these linebackers, some of them surprised me. Brian Peters did a little bit. I thought he made good plays during this entire preseason throughout. Michael Motti, he's pretty much just been depth, but I don't think he ever really did anything too bad. But I can understand that one. And then Brandon Watts was another one that really surprised me because he was an athlete. Well, he still is an athlete, but he seemed like someone we can develop. He was playing with more physicality. He was playing better. He was playing lanes. I thought he developed into a better all-around linebacker as just for depth. At the ends, we have one of our first draft picks from this year to go, which was B.J. Dubose out of Louisville. He seemed more like a tackle anyway, but he didn't really do much in the preseason. Leon Mackey was the other end that was cut. He didn't do too much either. So that Leon didn't surprise me. Dubose did a little bit more. And then at D-tackle, we had Chigbo and Nuaboy. Some of these I don't know how to say. And then we have Greg Hickman. Neither of those two really did anything either. They didn't do anything too great to prove that they should have been on the team to begin with. So those four linemen did not surprise me whatsoever. And then we get to the secondary. Some of these did. One of the secondary players did, which was corner/safety Sean Prater. I thought he was someone who was almost a lock to make the team because of his versatility, but he ended up going. He was one of the first to go. And then we have Josh Thomas and Anthony Harris, undrafted free agent out of Virginia. And then on the offensive line, we got Babatunde Agbusi. He got cut. It was very unfortunate. I think we were all rooting for this man out of Poland. Just didn't turn out that way, though. It's unfortunate how it works sometimes. I think he's 27. He's very inexperienced. So I read that he expected it as well, but it is what it is. And then here's another name that I don't know if I'm pronouncing right. Assam Facine. He was a guard. Another guy who didn't play very well, especially in that fourth preseason game. And then another one of our draft picks, Tyrus Thompson, got cut. And then David Yankee also gone, our guard/tackle for both of these guys. Yankee was always just told that he only had strength issues, I believe. But apparently he's not. He just needs a little bit more development there. Tyrus Thompson, he's a rookie, which I'm surprised by that cut a little bit because early in minicamp and things like that, he was taking reps with the ones and the twos at one point. So the fact that he got cut a little bit surprises me. And then we have Rob Vadardo and Tom Farniak. They also just depth guys, didn't really do too much to impress. And then at receiver we got Dante Foster, Isaac Frichte, and then Ryan Whalen. None of those guys surprised me either. A lot of these cuts I think were expected, but one that I did expect is one that was drafted this year that I did not see, which was linebacker Edmund Robinson. He made the team. That surprised me. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it coming from that small school and all that whatnot. But he has all the physical skills. He just needs to learn now. So that's a good thing. And then when we go to the practice squad, we have B.J. Dubose. He's on the practice squad. So is Isaiah Fassane, Isaac Frickty, safety Anthony Harris, linebacker Brian Peters, fullback Blake Renaud, linebacker Brandon Watts, Dominique Williams, David Yankee, and Zach Moore. Another name that's not on there, Tyrus Thompson. Just putting that out there. A little bit surprising to me. And then we also got Jeremiah Sirles from the Chargers for a 6th rounder. I don't know too much about Sirles yet. I wish I did know more. He's an undrafted rookie. Well, he was an undrafted rookie in 2014. Played tackle and guard with the 1 year he had with the Chargers. We all know. I don't know if we all do, but we do know that the Chargers had issues on the offensive line. He was on the practice squad. And then eventually they promoted him up to play, I think, guard. I believe it was guard, but he's listed as a tackle. So that's what I know about Sirles so far. And then some of the cuts that were made that intrigued me a little bit. Deron Carter. Remember Deron Carter? Chris Carter's kid? Minnesota had some interest in him. Turns out he got waived by Indy there. So I would watch out for that. Isaiah Battle, the offensive tackle from Clemson. You know, he was a supplemental round guy, and he was the only one drafted quite some time. So he was released. And then another one that really intrigued me because I know how Zimmer loves his corners. Stanley Jean-Baptiste, the cornerback. And the reason why that really did surprise me is because that was a 2nd rounder, I believe. It was a 2nd round pick by the Saints in 2014. So he has talent. I think that was one of the knocks on him coming out. He had all the talent, but he didn't necessarily have all the technique and, all those kinds of things. So that one would interest me a little bit because I personally, I know Newman, he's old, and I don't think that's going to go well with all the fast receivers we have in this division. I know Jordy Nelson is gone for the Packers, but he was never really a fast guy to begin with. But when we play guys like Detroit, we're going to have Rhodes on Megatron probably, meaning we have Terrence Newman on Golden Tate. Golden Tate can run by Newman any day. So I know we have Waynes, but I wouldn't see any issue taking in a young corner. I'm not saying cut Newman. I'm just saying, I would just prefer to get someone out there a little younger who can maybe run with some of the guys. Because that Amari Cooper thing kind of scared me when I saw that. Because I didn't anticipate him to be able to keep up with all these young guys. But with our division, that's a worrisome factor. Let's see. Another one that I put down here was Steve Weatherford, because Jeff Locke has not been the best punter. He's improved this preseason, but Weatherford he was cut by the Giants, and the Giants proceeded to trade for Brad Wing. So Weatherford's out there. I wouldn't mind having him if perhaps I think he would be an upgrade over Locke, play the position game, all that good stuff. And then, as all these guys are free agents as far as I know. I don't know if this is going to change or if it has changed already. But I also put a tight end down there. I know we're deep at tight end. But in case Kyle Rudolph goes down again, which, to be honest, that wouldn't surprise any of us. So I put down Fourier. Fourier was cut by the Lions. I know he was a down year last year. But the year before that, in his rookie year, he didn't have very many receptions. I remember that he had only 30 receptions for 250 yards or something like that, but he had 7 touchdowns. So he's a red zone guy. He's 6'7", 260, 270, something like that. So I wouldn't mind taking him in either. So I don't know if any of you guys agree with me on these notable guys, but I would take a lot of those any day. Just any day with this. Especially Baptiste and the tackle, since we need tackle depth. Because we traded for Sirles. I think he's going to be tackle depth strictly because we did lose Bartkowski and Load Holt. So I think he's going to be more of a tackle depth guy than a guard. Because at guard, I believe we still have Shepard and what was the other one's name? I forget. It'll come to me later. But even then, I think we got Sirles, so he can play guard too. Like, we got him. And Isaiah Battle, I don't know if he's big enough to play guard. Like, I just know he needs development, obviously. He's a young guy, but I wouldn't mind taking him in. Deron Carter, I find more of a wild card here. Because I don't think we need receivers as much as we thought anymore. Because Patterson's still been disappointing, yes, but by the way, I kind of want to know what you guys think about this Patterson thing, because I wasn't entirely sure that he was going to even make the roster this year. I know he was mad about being in on the 4th preseason game, but he should have expected it. I'll be honest with you. He is not refined as a receiver. He's a great special teams player, but I think we have other guys who can do that. Like, probably not as well as him, but I feel like we can get pretty decent production out of some guys that we have who can play other positions. Like Sirles, he's an all-around special teams player. But maybe Stephon Diggs could return kicks. And I think he's a better receiver as of right now. So that's just something to throw out there of my mind. And then I forgot to go into this, but Zach Moore, he is a defensive end on our practice squad, who is the only one on the practice squad who was not with the team during any of the preseason. He is a guy from New England. So he played a little bit last year. He had like half a sack and a forced fumble, I believe. So there's him. Just forgot to mention that. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about any of this. Anyway, see you. Farewell. See you next time.